Where's home?
Montana.
You are Spencer?
Can you believe that we only have 4 more episodes and that's it? Because I most certainly can't. It feels like we just started, and yet so much has already happened. Spencer is still stuck in Texas, Alex is heading to Boston, Tiana is realizing she has to run yet again, and as always, the Duttons can't seem to catch a break. If you're anything like me, you're dying to know what's coming next. So let's break it all down. First off, Episode 5 is titled Only Gunshots to Guide Us, and according to the synopsis, the search for Tiana continues. Alexandra and Spencer find their footing on 2 different trains. This title alone sets the tone for an intense, action-packed episode, and I have a feeling things are about to get even more chaotic. So let's start with Tiana then. In episode 4, we see her father, and boyfriend helping the cowboys. And you know what? She looks genuinely happy. Of course, her happiness doesn't last because she realizes that the wanted posters for her are all over the place. In episode 5, I think she'll be on the run again, but I also have a feeling she'll ask her boyfriend to stay behind since he's not wanted, and the journey ahead is too risky. But at the same time, he's lost everything, his family, his home. So would she really leave him behind? Maybe she won't be able to. What do you think? Should he go with her or stay put where it's safer? Meanwhile, Father Renault and Marshal Kent are closing in. I believe they'll track down the cowboys who helped her and start asking questions. My theory? Most of these men won't say a word because they seem like decent people. But there's always one, right? Someone who values money over morals. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them spills the truth in exchange for some quick cash. If that happens, Tiana's situation will take a terrifying turn. Do you think they'll catch her this time, or will she escape again? I believe they will, but there will be a twist, which brings us to Spencer and Mamie Fawcett. I honestly thought we'd see him meet Mamie Fawcett in episode 4, but since season 2 has been moving at a slower pace for him, I guess I was wrong. And when I say slow, I don't mean uneventful. He's been fighting for his life nonstop, barely able to breathe, and it still seems like Montana is nowhere in sight for him. In episode 5, we'll finally see him crossing paths with Mamie. In the trailer, she's pointing a gun at his face and demanding to know what he's doing there. Spencer looks absolutely exhausted, so I think she'll realize pretty quickly that he's not a threat. My guess? She takes him with her while continuing her own hunt for Renault and Kent. I have this theory that Mamie and Spencer will arrive just in time to stop Renault and Kent from torturing or even killing Tiana. And this is where things could get really interesting. If Tiana tells Mamie everything about the abuse, the murders, the horror she's endured, I think Mamie will believe her and actually help. She seems like a strong, no-nonsense kind of person, and I want to believe she's one of the good ones. And here's where Spencer comes in. I think he'll sympathize with Tiana's situation and offer her a way out, an invitation to join him on his journey to Montana. If that happens, it raises so many more questions. Will her father and boyfriend survive to go with her? And what if she's pregnant? Could that change everything? There's so much still up in the air about how Tiana and the Rainwaters ended up in Montana, and I hope the rest of this season gives us some answers. Now, let's shift gears to Whitfield and Banner, 2 men who are only getting more ruthless. Whitfield ordered Banner to dump Christie's body in a lawless area, and even though Banner isn't completely on board, he's still following orders like a loyal dog. He's doing it for his family, for his son's future, but you can see the hesitation. He has doubts about going after the Duttons, and that adds an interesting layer to his character. It makes him more human, more complex. At one point, I thought maybe he'd switch sides out of fear of Whitfield, but at this stage, that seems pretty unlikely. What do you think? Could Banner have a change of heart, or is he in too deep? I have one piece of good news and one piece of bad news. Let's start with the good. Elizabeth is pregnant. Turns out that's why she's been in so much pain during those rabies shots. This is amazing news for her, especially after how devastated she was by her miscarriage. She felt like she had lost her purpose, like she was worthless, but now she has hope again. And you can see it in her eyes. There's a new spark, a new strength. I couldn't be happier for her. But then there's Alex, and this is where things get heartbreaking. That vile man not only stole her money, but he also beat her terribly. In the sleeping car, she tells a woman she just met that he took everything while placing her hand on her belly. That to me strongly hints at a miscarriage. If that's the case, it's devastating. Now, she's on a train to Boston with no money and no clear plan. What's next for her? Do you think she'll make it to Montana eventually? Or will fate throw yet another obstacle in her way? What else do you think will happen in episode 5? Let me know in the comments below and watch this video next. You'll love it.